Your kids should be playing video games. You heard that right, video games. It's no longer just a pastime for people who love Mountain Dew and Doritos. Video games have become a multi-billion-dollar entertainment industry, but they're also starting to be used as an important tool in education.
Video games isn't what we used to think it was. I had a student come to me last year and he was kind of grumbling and complaining, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "My parents got after me because I wasn't playing enough video games. They said I needed to practice more." And I'm like, "Whoa, where did that come from? That is so cool."
And pretty cool it is, Provo High School became one of only 25 schools in all of North America out of thousands that applied for a special grant to be able to put an esports gaming lab right in the middle of their school. And that's what we're looking at on this week's Heart of Utah.
Back in November, I got a random email about a company that hosts the regional leagues saying that they wanted to help grow the esports program throughout the country and asked us to apply for an opportunity to get some computers. And previously, when we first started our esports program, the district said, "Hey, you guys are welcome to play video games, just don't do it at school." It's like, well, how do you have a club, a team that competes together but doesn't at school? And they're like, well, everybody else just plays from home. And we decided from the very beginning, we wanted to be a team. We wanted to be together. We wanted to make this just like any other sport. If you're at basketball, they don't say, "Hey, we'd love you to play basketball, but please play from home."
So after some more conversations and some more buy-in from the district, they applied for that grant and they won. But an interesting caveat of that grant was that the students themselves had to build that space out.
One of the stipulations for these computers is they said, "Hey, you will receive 6 computers from ASUS." When they arrived, it was a giant wooden crate full of parts. The computers were not put together at all, and that was a stipulation. They said you could have the computers on 2 conditions. 1, they have to be in the school, and 2, the students have to build them. And so the organization Generation Esports that gave us the computers, they actually threw 3 of their people in an RV, and they've been driving around the country from school to school helping these kids learn to build computers. And we had several of our students who are really into video gaming say, "Hey, I've always dreamed of building a computer, but it's so hard to do." And after one day of building them, I went, "This is easy. I want to go build my own now." And so just being able to expose them to that and see that the world of technology is not as hard as they think it is and get them excited about exploring it more was a big win for us with this lab.
Hi everybody, this is the Esports Lab that we've been trying so hard to get. We've been talking to the district, we've been trying to organize everything into just getting this, and it took I think it was freshman year when we were thinking about it and trying to get it through, but it just didn't work out. So getting this here is so cool and it's amazing. Now instead of just going to a classroom, we have our personal monitor, and it's so cool. It's something that we've been trying so hard to get, and it's amazing just to see it come here now, and I can stand in it.
The purpose of our club is to use video games as a gateway drug into better academics and futures in computer technology. And so we've been talking with several other classes throughout the area and saying, "Hey, we have these really high-powered computers. Is there ways you could use them in the classroom?" So we've talked to everything from coding and robotics to we're talking to the French and history teachers and saying, "Hey, can we load the education version of Assassin's Creed on here and let your kids come and experience France in a immersive environment? Like, is this something you could use?" We want to really see how we can get the kids into see these computers and see that gaming and high-end computers has a place in the classroom. And it's also good advertising for our club. So there's that too. But a lot of what we do, we work with an organization called iTeam USA that's here in Utah. And they help us bridge that gap between video games and the rest of the world. So just this a couple of months ago, we had our team go and compete. We got them in saying, "Hey, come compete in a Smash Brothers tournament." But while they were there, they also competed in hardware design or hardware construction. So they had to tear a computer apart and build it. And then we had to, they did robotics. They designed Mindstorm robots and competed with those. And 2 of our players actually won in that. and they won a $500 scholarship from that. So we try and get them to start with the video games and then see what else is out there. They look at even things like broadcasting and streaming, so they learn how to be streamers of our games, and they get into the broadcast side of video games. So we try and show them there's a whole world of careers enveloped around video games, and this computer lab right here is going to help us do that.
And opening that door to a world of opportunities that surround video games and technology is just one of the cool things that's happening in Provo, because now that field has so many more opportunities that transcend just computer science and technology.
Well, and that's the thing is, once upon a time it was a computer industry, but now video gaming is an entertainment industry, and there's a whole other arm of that career in the entertainment side, entertainment marketing and broadcasting and social media, and there's a whole nother world around it that didn't exist 10 years ago.
Last month alone, the video game streaming service Twitch logged more than 2.2 billion, yes, that's billion with a B, hours of content that were streamed on their platforms. People just love to watch other people play games, whether that's Friday Night Football or Monday Morning Minecraft.
Yeah, we are athletes for the 21st century. So our team competes in video games. We represent our school regionally and statewide. So right now the region is the Mountain States. So one of our teams competes with schools, high schools from all over the Mountain West, Idaho, Colorado. We even have a few teams all the way into Canada that we've played with, which is really kind of cool for these kids. And then one of our teams plays for a state title this year in Utah with schools from all across Utah. And we compete in video games like Rocket League, which is basically soccer with remote control cars. It's crazy. And then League of Legends and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
And now esports is really becoming a viable way to get kids into college and to help them develop skills while they're playing in the virtual world that can translate over into the real world too.
Once upon a time, video games were the distraction that kept kids away from graduating. And right now, I come from the business side. I was a public accountant for years before I became a teacher. And when we would recruit students out of college, we were looking for kids that knew how to communicate under pressure, work with teams, troubleshoot, strategize, think outside the box. These are skills that I can't teach in a classroom, but I can teach in an esports space. And when you come in, like when you sign up for the basketball team, the coach doesn't sit down and say, hey, I have years of experience as a coach. Why don't you guys design the plays? What do you want to do? No, they usually come and say, hey, these are the plays. This is what we're going to run. I know best because I've done this for a long time and I'm standing on the sidelines and I can see things you can't. But in the esports space, it's not that way. The kids don't want me to run the plays. If I create the plays, they'll lose. I have no idea what's going on. Like, these kids know more about the games than I do. They're in it every day. They binge watch the professionals. Like, they know what to do. We give them a team captain and they design their stuff. So this is a cool environment where they get to take leadership and ownership of their sport more than any other sport I think offered in the high school. And the skills that they're learning from this are going to benefit not only college, but their careers and their life in ways that I can't teach in a classroom. So the world of video games is coming to a point now where it helps them improve their grades. It helps them get scholarships. It helps them find colleges. It helps excite them about that. And it also teaches them soft skills that we can't teach in a classroom or any other way, and better prepares them for the challenges they're going to face in life with a core group of friends that they can rally behind in ways that I don't think anything else at the school offers. And that's why I think we're growing. We are probably, I would argue, we're probably the largest club in the building.
Schools in higher ed are also seeing the opportunities and benefits for esports as well, and they're starting to offer real-world money in the form of athletic scholarships to top students, and that's happening right here in the state of Utah too. But in addition to the learning opportunities and the scholarships that are out there and available to these student athletes, for many of them, they have come to find a sense of community and a sense of belonging in this club that they hadn't been able to in other places. And after a year of uncertainty and isolation, through the beauty of the internet, they've been able to stay connected.
On the small scale, community has probably been the biggest thing that these kids have benefited from through our program. it's amazing to me as we were looking through our rosters, as we were talking to some of these students in the interviews that were getting us this esports lab, how many of our students are um, students with different kinds of learning disabilities. How many of our students are on the autism spectrum? We have so many of these students struggle to feel like they fit in places, struggle to make friends. Some of our students in their interviews have mentioned, I really, all my way through high school, have struggled to make friends. And here I'm surrounded by friends that love what I love and do what I do. And, it's not just esports, every club has that. But this is a group of kids that never felt like they fit in anywhere else. They don't get into all of the other clubs that are available. They're not into the arts. They're not athletically inclined, but they love to play video games, and they found a community here. And when COVID hit, that was big for us, because when COVID hit, you had to socially distance. When they shut down in March, the principal came back and said, every club shuts down now. And I emailed him back and said, but we can play from home. Can we still keep going? And he said, as long as the kids are distanced, I don't care. So we already had Discord built. The kids knew how to communicate offline or out of school. And so we started putting together our own tournaments on Discord. We created a Discord channel that linked us with Timpview High School, our other high school in the district. And we started holding competitions between the two schools. When the state league shut down and we couldn't do state competitions anymore, we kept doing our own. And we would meet once a week at the same time we always did. And we would meet online, and we would hook up through Discord, and we would connect our computers or switches, and we kept playing. And it gave these kids a sense of normalcy and a sense of something to look forward to, something to hang on to. And it really helped get us all through, I think, that last run of the year. Had so many times, we've had at least 3 that I can think of in the 3 years we've been around, where I will have one of the assistant principals pull me aside and say, hey, we've got this kid that's really struggling right now with different issues. Can we find him a place on your team? And there's always some place we can stick a kid. Maybe he doesn't compete competitively, but he'll come and play. And we'll have them come and say, hey, we've got a new kid coming to the school. He doesn't have any friends. His parents just went through divorce, whatever, but he loves video games. He needs a home. And that's what we've created. We create a home. These kids come in, and within 2 weeks, they've got a good group of friends, and they're meeting with each other online. And yeah, I don't even call it a community anymore. We create a home. We create a family for these kids, and that's what they are. And they take care of each other, and it's been fun. And even this year, as we've played schools from all over the country, some of these schools are still shut down. Some of these schools still have to play from home, but it never stopped us. We could connect with everybody and continue to play. So that's been nice. And then if you take that community to a broader spectrum, it's been fun for me to watch these kids as we did a live competition at Timpanogos High School for the first time since the state league's creation. We did a live event, and it was fun to watch these kids as they have played online, and they trash talk each other, and they laugh at each other, and they're, I'm going to win. And then they get live together, and they are so serious, and they are competing hard. And then as soon as it's done, they're like, hey, that was really awesome. I've got a few tips for you. And they're sharing ideas, and they're like sharing their Discord links, and they're getting connected online. And hey, can I play you from home? And just to see the sportsmanship and camaraderie, even across schools and rivals. I don't know. It's fun to see the positive side of esports in these kids and see a hope for a turn in the future of esports. I'm hoping that these kids can make a positive influence to the sad reputation that global esports has had, and kind of see that toxicity disappear as these kids learn to create communities around their favorite sports.
Now, this week especially, there is so much more to this story than I was able to compact up all nicely and put together in this video. But if you're not, also through the wonders and majesty of the internet, We have everything you need to know and even more all over on our website at kslnewsradio.com, where there is also the companion piece of this story that airs every Friday morning and Friday afternoon on KSL News Radio. So head over there, check it out. I promise you that it will be worth your time. But that just about does it for me here this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever time of the day it is for you. And I want to leave you with the Gamer Speak sign off. GG's, everybody. For KSL News Radio's Heart of Utah, I'm Colby Walker. We'll see you right back here next week.
Don't call me a cartographer, because all these cartographers will be like, what? Those maps aren't accurate, you know? So map maker's a little bit looser than cartographer.